Today we are going to see a pattern called decreasing star pattern. The pattern is going to look like this, and starting with 5 star, and it is 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star. That is why it is called the decreasing, because it is decreasing in pattern. Now before we get into the problem, we have to think about few points, which is here, and which is row count first. Row count is 1, 2, 3 row, 4 row and 5 row, which is 5, and column count is 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, 4 column and 5 column, which is again 5. We need to check whether the pattern is of same or different, meaning whole pattern is having only one letter or alphabet or any symbol like star, or it is having mixed. For example, sometimes star in this column can have star and this column can have some different alphabets, like that. If it is same, we no need to write a separate logic. If it is different, then we have to think of a separate logic. That's why. And pattern count relation with either row or column, we have to derive a formula out of it. That is the meaning for this. Either comparing with column or row, or somehow we have to derive a formula. Okay, now let's think of it. If you see in the first row, we have 5 star count. You just check these values. We are in the first row. Okay, here we have 5 star count. Here now we are in the second row. Here we have 4, then 3, 3, 4, 2. It is decreasing. If you see, the number is just opposite to it. Okay, now the formula is whenever the column we are printing, we have to think of the star count. If you see in the first row and in the first column, the star count is 5. Okay, if you see this 5, which is matching with the row count. Okay, so row count is 5 and it is the star count of the first pattern, it is matching with the row. And if it is 2, it is reducing 1. Okay, so we can have a row logic here, a row relation logic here. I'll explain you in detail when we are programming. After that, increasing or decreasing, here it is a decreasing pattern. Keep the row and column logic separately, one for loop for row, another for column. Yeah, this will be helpful when we are writing a code. Okay, we can directly get into the problem here. So here I have a class called pattern problem. This increasing pattern I have already explained in a previous video. Please check out. And this placeholder for the decreasing pattern. As I said already, I am getting a row count from the argument. So first let's write a logic for the row. And as the logic is, logic of the row is same across all the star pattern problem. Now int I, my row is going to indicate with the variable called I, and I is going to starting from 1, I less than or equal to 5 row, which means I need to print 5 row, and every after 1 row my row count is going to increase. That's when it will go to the next row, and after 1 row always I need a new line, which is a template. This is going to be a template across all our pattern problem, so please remember it. And again, now our pattern is going to more in touch with the column, right? So this for loop logic is more important. Now int j is to represent the column, j equal to 1. Now this condition we have to think to print the star count. Now I'll go back here. If you see, it is 5, which I need is row here, because row count is 5 and my star count is also 5, right? I'll go here, I'll print j less than or equal to row. There could be a mistake in this problem, but we'll sort it out. Okay, here I have to print a star. In previous video, we made a mistake of adding a new line in the column, so I'm just removing it. Not row, it is just a row count. Okay. Now if you see here, it is 5 row, it will print 5 row, and each after row I'll get a new line. if I come to the column logic, when j is 1, it will check whether 1 is less than or equal to 5, and then it will print the star, and 2 is less than or equal to 5, and then it is printing a star. Until 5 count, it will print 5 star. Then again I will go to the out of exit condition, then I'll print a new line, then I'll go to the row logic. If you see, the I will become I plus plus, so it is 2. Even when I is 2, j is 1, so it is again going to match 5 condition, it is again going to count 5 star, which is wrong. So if you see, the pattern is going to be like this. I'll just comment this increasing pattern and just run this decreasing pattern, and it is going to be like this. But all we need is the first row is correct. Whatever we printed, the 5 star is correct, but in the next row it has to be reduced. So if j equal to 1, always it will match 5 condition. So in each loop, the I value will increase. If I give the increased value here, okay, right? If I give the increased value here, instead of from 1, if it is a first loop, it will I is 1, so it will execute for 5 times. If it is I is 2, then it will 2 here, then 2 to 5, it is just a 4 condition, because it's less than or equal to 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So j less than or equal to 5, from 1 it is 4. Then I become 2. At that point, j is also 2. So 2 less than or equal to 5, 3 less than or equal to 5, and 5 less than or equal to 5. Only 3 stars will print. So now let's run the problem. See, this is the decreasing pattern. So we have to slightly change the logic as per the pattern. If somebody is asking a pattern to print 5 star out of star, even we do have a pattern called like this. We have a pattern called this square pattern with all the stars. We can do this. And if it is a decreasing one, you have to reduce one star in all the loop. So you can use the I to reduce it. Now I'll run an application. So it is very simple, right? And one more thing, the reason why I have a decreasing pattern and increasing pattern in the same program is only with these two logic. With this two logic, we are going to make all our complex pattern. So please stay tuned and try to understand this logic more in detail. Okay, thank you.